Welcome to the show. It's Timeout with Trey Scott, episode 34. Man, I'm excited. I got two dogs with me, literally two dogs with me, two head coaches. Coach Vinston Thorpe from East Columbus, former at Kinston High, Greene Central, Red Springs, Hope County. What else I missed? Westover, and Coach Jay Wilson. You got the resume. Spit it out. I just wrote his articles. I know.
I know. I started in Guilford County, matriculated down here, spent a little time in Lenore, went over to Johnston, was at North Johnston, went back to Wayne, was at Goldsboro for a bit, and now at Greene Central for year 10, I do believe, is overall, and then going into year 8 as the head coach. So.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming. I consider both of you guys my friends.
Oh, yes,
I love having y'all out here. But most importantly, I know you two guys are real good friends, that's the whole show to me. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. A man finally got his job.
Man,
we're pretty good.
Coach, what was he going through? Man, I know I've been talking to him. But what was he been going through?
Get a little water. Let me get a little water.
Listen, man. From the very first time, one of the questions I asked when we interview with guys who are coming in to be assistant coaches is, what is your objective? Like, what do you want to do with this? And he has some guys who want to be assistant coaches, and that's all they want to be. And he said it from his chest, I want to be a head coach one day. So me as a head coach, that's how I treat him. I gave him duties and I gave him responsibilities. When he was with us, he was not only the JV head coach, he was our recruiting coordinator. He was assistant offensive coordinator, with the infamous Demus Willis. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Demus, you know what I'm saying? Out there living his best life with his feet on the couch. Mm-hmm. So I gave him those responsibilities of a head coach. And from that day forward, whether it's been interviewing or whether it's creating a portfolio or whether it's, hey, what do you think they're going to ask me, or just, whatever, this has been the journey. And this is at the end of 4 years now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Four hard ones. We are where he wants to be for this stage of his career. That first HC job, that first program, and that first time you get to put your stamp on the entire culture of the program. So I'm excited.
I got to put my 2 cents on that. You said you definitely put him in a position, hey, go be a head. Here's your head coaching duties. Do this, do that. More than anybody else that just wants to be assistant. He took full advantage of it.
Yes.
Man, he didn't look. He wasn't a head JV coach. He ran a JV program.
Yes, he did.
He did an excellent job, and I'm super excited for you. I'm super proud of you. And Coach, you did a great job.
Oh man, like I said,
I'm gonna start there.
Yeah,
and trickle down because you did a great
for
job,
sure,
and you did too, Coach Thorpe. I'm excited. I'm excited for him. Tell me about the journey. How hard has it been?
Man, the journey, man, it was great. I think every institution that I went to and I stopped at and I spent time at, I think was essential. But I think Greene Central was the institution that put the definition to me. Because it was a reset on my life. Being able to come to Eastern North Carolina, after being in Southeast North Carolina as far as, Fayetteville area, and being able to come out here, man, and being able to just have opportunity to be able to influence. I think, somebody trusting in me, somebody giving me that platform and opportunity, I think it was huge. And I think that one of the hugest things about it was just like, I trust you, man. You can do it. Now was it days where it was rough?
Oh, for sure.
It's like, hey man, this young boy, man. Come
like,
on,
what are you doing, man?
Let me talk to you on the side, man. Like, hey, if you don't get it right, I'm not telling you I'm gonna fire you, but you may be looking for work, Yeah. But he was patient with me, man, and he never stopped pouring into me, even when I transitioned, and my color changed. My heart didn't, but my color changed.
Yeah.
It was still.
We're gonna talk about it.
Weekly conversations. It was always, man. Well, I love you, and this is what this looks like for you. But just know, man, I'm not doing it for you to be successful down the road, man. Because at the end of the day, man, that's rival, man. The success is here in your heart, but I get it. Everybody need work, and 100% definitely needed it, but. I'm just grateful, man.
For your first year at GC, what was that roster? I mean, what year was that?
Oh, man, that was the Pooh Bear roster.
Was that Isaiah Campbell's sophomore year?
Yes. Yes. That's the Pooh Bear
That
John.
was because this graduating class were freshmen. Deuce and Cam and those guys were freshmen. And you had you had Tavares. He's talking about your JV roster.
Oh, JV
No,
roster?
I want to know the year.
Green-
That was the
Oh, yeah.
Pooh Bear John.
Oh, yeah.
Wilkes at the quarterback. That was his first year at GC. Was that year?
No disrespect to none of your coaching staff any other year, but that coaching staff that year,
Man, listen.
had to be your best coaching staff you ever had.
Listen.
Yes, Lord.
I go back and look at that.
And spit the names out.
We're talking Delmus Willis. We're talking Anthony Dupree. We're talking DeMarcus Whitehurst. We're talking baby fresh Colin Lee.
Yes, sir.
We're talking, myself. We're talking Coach Quinterchet. We're talking Jemian Phillips.
Leave them one. My boy, Big Cleve.
Cleveland. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Can't forget.
Yeah,
Cleveland.
Big Cleve, I mean, we were loaded. Like, there were days as a head coach where I was literally just walking around monitoring almost because there was no entity that needed me over their shoulder. And, I mean, granted, we had some great ball players, no doubt.
Yeah, we did.
But the staff that year, oh, my goodness, I mean, you had every kind. You had the young guys that came in with all the energy. You had the middle guys, Jay Field and Whitehurst and Q, who had some years of experience. And so they brought that kind of, what they brought to the table. And then, we had the OGs with Dupree and Delmus and Clee, So we were just there was no area that was lacking.
It reminds me of an AG coaching staff. AG brings coaches you have head coaches, but in the opposite direction. These guys are going to be head coaches.
Yeah.
Those guys are already head coaches.
Yeah.
Both great coaching staff, but to have that much knowledge on the staff.
Some of those staff meetings, you know what I'm saying? Some of our practices that year, some of our Tuesdays where we're bringing the JVs over to bump or we're going offense, defense. Some of those practices were better than some of the games. We were on a Tuesday having to say, all right, we got to dial it back a little bit because this thing is getting for real out here. I mean, I think of some of the players, and then you just had so many different characters almost. You know what I mean? And it was a great year as far as a coaching staff and just man,
Man, and for our audience, all of this conversation is unscripted. I don't know what I'm gonna say next. They have no clue what I'm gonna talk about. So I'm gonna hand throw the first one at you. What was y'all's favorite moment together? Coaching moment together. Yeah, I expect y'all both to have a different one. I think, but
gosh,
and I know I threw that on you. I know
you did.
Man, I go first. Go ahead. I go first, man.
Defer to the young fella.
I think I know that our greatest coaching moment came from me winning my first head coach game. Because I think for me, I wasn't really paying attention to the true moment. When you're competitive, man, you preparing, you getting ready, and it didn't come to me until after the game. He walked up to me and said, "Congratulations, quick boy, you won your first one." And it's you take it in I did win my first one. And I think Dana Parker, great photographer. I think she caught the moment, man. We just dap up, hug, and it's just it was a real surreal moment because you don't prepare for it. You don't even know what those feelings. You can't really describe them. It's just that moment happened, and it's just wow, this is the beginning of something great, and it kept being something great. Over and over again, and that feeling kept getting greater, And then I know that was the greatest moment for me.
It's kind of twofold. It was a tradition that we had before the games, and it kind of goes back to the Sugar Ray and Quick.
That was my next question.
And we used to dap up around the 40 or the 50, and we finna rob Bugsy Calhoun
every time.
And that was just my way of saying, hey, we flipping the switch and we going to go get this money and we finna rob Bugsy Calhoun. But probably one of mine was that my first playoff win came that year versus St. Paul. And I'm after the game, I just had the ball in my hand and just in our typical demeanor and manner of just communicating, he really didn't say anything, but it was just like, hey, kind of almost how I gave him his first one. He was like, hey, got that first win. You know what I mean? Like, that monkey's off your back. You got your first playoff win. You go into the second round, da-da-da-da-da. So, like, that's a moment that stands out. I mean, there's a ton. There's a ton of in-game moments you know, whatever. But that one stands out for me.
Oh, yeah, man. Just like, we can't forget some of the bad moments, you know. Well, not really a bad moment, but the reason that, you know, the boys at Farmville don't care for me too much. You know, blew a timeout. I mean, it may be 2 minutes left in the game, Trey. You know, we up, man, you know, but, you know, when you young, man, you want to use all your bullets, man, you know, and throwing a 9-ball and then coming right back and throwing slant wheel, and I'm already up 30. He like, hey, quick. We need to get out of here. You know, I think we need to get out of here, you know. It's like, I just wanted to try that. Okay, well, let's kneel it out. Let's get away from here.
I Sugar. I got you.
I ain't going to go in too much on Farm. I can say a lot.
But I mean,
I get it. I get your point.
But there's a thousand of the me reeling quick back in, you know, moments, and then there's also a few moments of, all right, Sugar, you know what I'm saying? Like, remember, you ain't quit. You know, you know what I'm saying? So,
all right, I'm not as cool as y'all. Explain the Sugar Ray and quick.
Oh man, so I mean, I'll explain the movie, then he can get in depth as far as what it means to us. So if you're not familiar, the movie is Harlem Nights.
Okay.
Eddie Murphy and the cast of great, you know, what you said to be, you know, comics. Man, they had a movie that was kind of detailed towards like what you consider to be supposed to be a candy store, but it was a legal club. But it was full of comics, you know, hilarious, man, and they came together. Quick was what you consider to be the little cagey, but had a lot of potential young fella, and Sugar was the old guy that had finished up his potential, and he knew what it took to be successful, you know, but he won't as what you consider to be aggressive with it, you know, confrontational, you know, and he moved a little bit different, and it was just, you know, going through those different teachings, man, and it was, I mean, great movie. Yeah. Great movie.
Gotcha.
Well, we're definitely older than me.
Great explanation.
And there's a 5, 6, 7 scenes in the movie where Quick is ready to go, let's go handle it like right now. Mm-hmm. And Sugar's like, hey, listen, let's pull back. Mm-hmm. Let's study the scene. Let's figure out how we still gonna get the win. We still gonna get to the objective, but let's do it this way. Mm-hmm. And there were plenty of dungeon meetings where I was like, quick, come down here and meet with me for a little bit. Mm-hmm. We gonna get the money, but let's try to get it this way. Yes. So we don't knock over as many things getting to the money. We should go around here. Gotcha. And so that's how it came to fruition. And even now when he calls me, I know what kind of conversation it's gonna be based on what name he uses when he you know, if it's OG, that's basically him calling me Sugar. He calling for some advice. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so we have that kind of language, and you know, we even talk in movie quotes sometimes, just to let him, you know, I jog his memory back to a scene in the movie. He's like, you know what, you're right. Let's do it this way.
Gotcha.
So, you know,
gotcha. Yeah. I'm gonna go back to something you triggered a thought for me. St. Paul's the first head coach win, and that was that third season. Somewhere around there,
you know, with the COVID and all that.
Right, and you started off rough with not much talent. Most of your talent were freshmen. Pooh Bear and John's freshman year. That was around your when you came in, right?
Yeah, because when Wooten left, that was the end of the A.J. Dupree and B.J. Corbett and all those guys were gone.
They cleared house.
yeah. You know, shout out to Alan Wooten. I appreciate it, dog.
But running to the door.
Get into my question.
But
how tough was them couple of years in getting back to the mat, man? How much did that test you? Because this was your first year head coach. Mm-hmm. How much did that test you? And did you question yourself sometimes?
Yes.
And when you got there, how good did that feel? I know I asked you 10 questions right then.
Oh no, you're good. And I mean, and that's part of like, so it's sort of like the same thing with the head coaching journey with him, and that's why I was always able to relate to what he was going through, because I had 9 or 10 no's prior to that one yes at Greene Central. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Patrick Greene and David Bryant, you know what I'm saying, for trusting and believing in me. Great dudes. But I had been at Goldsboro literally for 3 years before job came open, and they decided to hire from what, outside. And so I'm already kind of walking into Greene Central with like, dang, is this going to be for me? Do 2 years as a JV coach, get to that platform. Then we go 4 and 6 or something, somewhere along those lines. That my very first year, we come back, we're kind of getting ready to do things, and we run into COVID. And we come back and, we have the horrible COVID season that's just, whatever. We go the next year to Burlington.
Yeah.
And we play a loaded team in Burlington, play them to the wire.
Had them beat.
We're one fake punt away from knocking off a top 5 or 6 seed and going to the second round then. And so, on that ride back home, I was like, am I close or am I far away? And then you come back the next year and all the stars align. We get the 2 young boys, Coach Lee and of course, Thorpe, and they align and we go out and we have this game. And, St. Paul, it was like, I do belong in this thing. You know what I'm saying? I do belong with the other head coaches, the Diesels of the world and the Twitchels at West Craven and all those guys that were names. Coach Paul was still at AG. You know what I mean? Like I'm the young Pooh Butt in the group, and so it was definitely like a relief. Like okay, I can do this. You know what I'm saying?
And that was your first year was my first year covering, starting to get into the
yes.
Yeah. Before that, I was the loud fan on Facebook, overly. Greene Central guy, die hard, still am.
Yeah, just like Carolina.
You got to cut it off.
Carolina fan.
But I was gonna get there. But let me get there.
Let's move on.
Yeah. It's my show. Hey, timeout with Trey Scott.
He think that. He think that. You don't know where to build it.
Well, anybody put me on that wall.
But as a diehard Greene Central fan, I'm glad you brought up the Burlington game. That was the game I knew you would have been. That we were okay. That's when I knew we were okay. After that game, I think I told you and Willis this. I was like, we got over the hump.
Yeah.
Even we didn't win.
We didn't win,
but we had them.
Yeah,
had them. And there was nothing coaching wise that stopped us. And they just fake punt.
Yeah.
That on like 4th and long
with the best athlete on the field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who was back there at punter? We practicing all week. Like, hey, listen, this ain't a punter. This is a running back that's gonna be back there fake punting. You know what I'm saying? And they just you're 17, 18-year-old kids. I'll never blame a kid. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and I felt the same way driving back from Burlington. Like, hey, I was ready to get to work the next day. And it showed the next year. And it, we've had ups and downs here and there, but a certain standard and a certain expectation of us, it started that night. And then it kept on the next year with what we were doing.
I think another good thing to roll into now is coaching each other's kids. Y'all both coach my kids. Oh, yeah. You've coached his kids. Vice versa, all the way around. How cool is that? Then he gets to coach your son. And where are the objects? Where are the obstacles? I know everything ain't green and lovely, but how was that? And talk about that.
I have to give him his flowers on camera, and I make sure we keep this in. You know where I'm going, right? So
thought it was the end, y'all. He thought it was the end.
So Deuce had been playing defense end, and tight end, but we were looking at a time where everybody was going spread. It was 2, 4 wide, 5 wide. And I was like, we need to try to get this money on defensive end spot. And he came in, he's like, Coach, that's a tight end. I'm like, well, he plays tight end, but, Coach, that's a tight end. He going to go to college. I remember he said that. He said, as a freshman, he's like, he go to college to play tight end right now. And I said, well, I tell you what, you take care of him. And for 2 years, he did. For 2 years, he taught him a lot of things about playing tight end, blocking, and all these things, and so I had to give him his flowers, for that part. But it has its advantages and it has its obstacles. It really does. Like coaching Deuce was I have memories that last forever, but there's also been times where I've second guessed or I maybe have not pushed him, like lifted him up. Because I didn't want somebody's mama saying, "Oh, he only doing that because that's his son." So those things do pop into your head as a head coach. You're like, I don't want nobody auntie out here like, well, the only reason he doing that is because that's his son. So you do have those moments.
And that was my next question: is how much pressure did I put on you with Jordan? You know, I have a direct line to you.
Yeah.
I have a direct line to you from my job. And our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's my son, and not only my son, he's playing quarterback.
Yeah.
And he's not the starter, and sometimes he is the starter.
Yeah.
And they were fighting for the starter, and then he got in an accident, and all that threw up.
Yeah.
How tough did I put you in that situation?
Oh, tough. Jordan's senior year. But you taught me a lot about how to deal with parents and stay patient. You know what I'm saying? And stay like, all right, this is somebody's child. You know what I'm saying? And I'm never going to be upset at a parent for advocating for their kid. But you also have to be able to listen to what I'm saying, because I'm looking at your kid in a different lens, you know. And so I think about middle way, we kind of had the same lens, and we were like, okay, you know, all right. And I give you credit for that. You were able to like, all right, I get it, you know.
It was tough on me. Look, it was me and you.
Yeah.
Then it was me and him at night. It was me and you, then me and him at night.
It was like, at some point, like, which one of you do I need to speak with? You know what? Y'all get together and get with me.
No, I appreciate it. That was good times, man. Stuff I'll never forget. And Coach Wilson, I think I told you this. I don't know if how much I have told you this, but I want to say thank you for making sure my son graduated high school.
Oh yeah,
my son is different, and I know that. We all know that. I love him to death. He's different in a great way. But both of y'all
for sure.
were great. In his life.
But Jordan, it was definitely a tag team effort. Now it was not a one man job. You know what I mean?
Yes, it takes a village.
Yeah, and one of the things that I always try to imprint on him, you know, because I probably give him advice more than he even asked for, you know what I'm saying? But if they walk on senior night, they got to walk on graduation day.
Yeah.
Like you can win championships and you can have a handful of rings and you can do all these things. But if you got guys that walk on senior night in football but don't walk on graduation day, you're not doing your job as a coach.
Well, you ain't uplifting that community, you're losing.
You're losing the community.
Yep.
What good is a kid running around with a championship ring on, and that high school diploma is the last thing he ever did? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work.
Just
like
a memory.
Yeah.
Just a memory. Yeah. And in 10 years, what happens to memory? They fade out. Mm-hmm. And you, oh yeah, with the ring. Oh, that's cool. But okay, what you doing now? You know, and I don't care what it is. I'm telling my guys, you're gonna do something after high school. I don't care if you go to Pitt, Johnson, Wayne, LCC, whatever. Find a way. And that's my message to him all the time. But to any coach that's watching this, man, you have to do more than just win ball games.
At what point did you realize that coaching is more important than winning? Because that's a tough line. Because winning is important.
Yeah, it's important.
It is important.
It's important. And I think winning helps you build men, but building men helps you win. It's almost like, you know, what came first, the chicken or the egg? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, and he can talk about it. You know, some of the conversations that we've had, like, man, this kid is a great player, but like we got to make him a better man.
Yeah, man. When you take the time to really understand them, you figure out what they need to nurture to become that better man. You know, and I think that's the bigger moment than any first down, touchdown, 2-point conversion, trophy, anything that you do, because in about 5 to 10 years, they always come back and they tell you thank you for something that has nothing to do with that game. Mm-hmm. And that's what you want. You know, if you can't pull that 20, 25 times, and we'll just say that your past 2 to 3, you know, graduation classes, man, you know, you may be a football coach, but you're not developing men. You kind of just stand at the top of something and benefiting for yourself, you know. Yeah. And a lot of guys, they mentally may think that way, and they mentally may want that. But I think that was one of the greatest things about being a part of his program, and then being able to transition into a position where I have my own program. That instillment is way more than any success we'll ever have. Mm-hmm. Man, making y'all better dudes, man. Yeah. You know, because if you a better dude, you a better guy, right. Man. You know what I'm saying? You can change your community.
Yeah. That championship ring or that, you know, 9-1 season, that's not gonna help you be a dad.
Nah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't go up to your kid and be like, hey, Dad was 9-1 back in 20. You know, well, who cares? That man don't care. You know, Deuce has never asked me how many games I won in high school.
Yeah.
He never asked me why you ain't playing the state championship. All he cared about, it was food on the table every day. He was always taken care of, and he never had to worry.
Man, that made me sad. You're right. My kids ain't never asked me. They never asked. It's usually me telling them like I did this. You're right. They never ask. They don't care.
Yeah. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. But now they care what kind of man you are.
Yeah.
But they don't care. Yeah. You know, he might like, you know, what were y'all doing? You know, he'd be funny back in the 1900s. You know what I'm saying, or something like that. But like, it don't mean anything to them, to the people that wind up mattering later on. Your record in high school doesn't matter. And if they put on my tombstone that I was 47 and 31, I didn't live a good life. Mm-hmm. I didn't do my job as a coach. If what's on my tombstone is my win-loss record.
Yeah. Just need that 3-letter word, Dad.
That's it.
Or husband.
There's
more. There's more.
You know what I'm saying? But or mentor or
coach.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I got guys right now that are in my inbox on some, hey, like I'm going through this. Like, what do you think? Like, what do you think I should do next? He not asking me what Georgia and Alabama. He not asking me for his stats from the 9-1 season. He asking me for life advice, and that means at some point when he was with me, he saw what a man is supposed to do, what a man is supposed to sound like, what a man is supposed to look like, act like, be like. And so when he got out there and became a man, he said, "Ooh, I'm in a rough spot. Let me. Okay, coach."
Mm-hmm. I know one person that got the answer. That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
I know one person that's gonna have the answer.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said.
I know somebody who can I. Hey, coach, and if Coach Wilson pop into your name, I did my job
for sure. Well, what's some things you picked up from Coach Wilson when, as a brother, as a coach, working underneath him? What's some things that here's your chance to give him his flowers? Or
yeah, man, a plethora of things, man. I think, man, big thing, man, was the interpersonal piece. When a man says that he want to be a part of a community, when you're a head football coach, a lot of guys say it in the interview. A lot of guys say it in what you consider to be a public setting, but how the due process of doing it. Little Rams camp. Sacrificing time, to train some of what you consider to be the staff members just because they want to get bigger, in better shape, and then taking the time to take kids home, feed them, nurse them, be able to basically water that tree, like stuff like that, man. That was some of just a small tidbits, when it came to offense and defense. I don't think I took anything offensively just because he spent most of his time trying to beat up on me. But I feel like, because if everybody said he tried to beat up on me, I brought my JV kids to service our varsity defense. Okay? And now these are 9th and 10th graders, and we are going against the Isaiah Campbell, Jamari Carpenters, Kamari Hall. These young men are benching 300+ pounds.
They were waiting for this moment.
And I'm rolling out with my babies. They confident, but Trey Bynum at that time, he made 135 on the bench maybe. So he's looking in this moment like, I'm ready, but I'm not ready. So, but those moments were big because it was the competitive nature. Yeah. You can be brothers inside of competition, man, and then just the uplifting of the student athletes, the building, and one of the things I will always take, the relationship with your administration staff when they're giving you the things that you need. Mm-hmm. Patrick Greene and David Bryan. I seen with my eyes how great of an admin team as a head principal and the AD they were. And for him to show his how grateful he is about the things and how he operates with the students, holding them to expectation, making sure that the hallways are clean, doing stuff that has nothing to do with football. That's what you take when you build a program, and that's something that I definitely took.
You brought up brothers.
Oh yeah.
If my man showed up with a cane and red and black on. Would y'all brothers be just as good as the purple?
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna say no.
Did I say that right? Did I say that?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say.
Piece that together.
Yeah, I'm with you. Now, if he'd have came to the interview and he'd had some other colors on, it'd have been a slower process. It'd have been a slower process. But I would say this: you know a football coach when you meet one.
Absolutely.
And it took me 5 minutes to know that he was a football coach. So the football fraternity would have superseded, our Omega Psi Phi fraternity. But now we are able to communicate in a language specific to men of Omega, which makes it a little bit easier to talk sometimes and talk in plain sight and nobody have a clue what we're talking about. If I need to tell him to calm down, if I need to tell him, we need to do this, and I can use a phrase or something that, you know what I'm saying? So, but the football part of it, man, listen, like he talks about bringing them JV guys over, and the way he bebopped over to the varsity field to come service and go, 11 on 11, you would have thought he was bringing the Patriots over. You'd have thought he was bringing the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? Like he came over and you could see the guys were like, well, my coach believe in me, so let's come over here and let's and so I stand back and I look at that and I'm like, oh yeah, that guy ready. And now say on week 2 Tuesday, he come over, we might beat their face in, right? With a defensive scheme. By week 3, he has developed something to beat that particular defense. You're not gonna beat him the same way twice.
He's coaching.
He's coaching.
You ain't gonna just keep whooping
with the same stick, right?
With the same stick.
You ain't get no switch.
You gotta go get to a different bush. But those small things, you know what I'm saying, attention to detail and whatnot, it showed me who he was as a football coach. And that's what made me know that, when the time is right and when the right opportunity arises, he's gonna go there and he's gonna make it work.
And continuing, transitioning through our journey, you got the call from him that he's going to Kinston. How did that conversation go? Did you know about it a little bit beforehand?
Yeah.
How was that for the setting the tone? Even though I don't have to do this, there's Kinston and Greene Central. Whether anybody wants to admit, has been a great rival in all sports for the past 20 years. I'll say at least 15. It's been a great rivalry, and all three of us have ties in Kinston.
For sure.
And we got people we love, we know, and people that's going to talk to us.
For sure. I mean, I get skip the ball, but gonna talk trash to me every day. My cooking buddy Nick. You know what I'm saying? He might not make a joke, but he gonna be like, we got y'all last night. You know what I'm saying?
Just enough.
My nephew Nick. You know what I'm saying? Same thing.
How'd that conversation go? The original.
I would say this: there hasn't been a movement in the past 4 years of his life that I didn't know about ahead of time, or that I wasn't informed of and even asked my opinion of. You know what I mean? So the move itself was fine. Like it was 51 weeks of the year, it played no part in it. Now that 1 week, it played a part in it, but it never changed anything right here. Not an ounce. Not an ounce. Well, I mean, every year there's a picture of us after the game. You know what I'm saying? I think we 1-1, and we probably just need to leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? Broke even, and no matter whichever the one was on, it was a handshake, it was a dap, it was probably a phone call after the game. So nah.
You leaving talking about the rivalry, leaving the kids and younger kids, immature kids at the time, that don't understand adult stuff, where I got to go, why I got to go, or this is the best for my career move. You leaving these kids who we just talked about how much you pour into a JV program. How tough was it leaving those kids going to their rival, knowing they're going to think you're the op now? You're a snake now. I know they done threw it at you. I know you broke it down to them, but it won't clean. It won't clean.
Man, I think it may have been one of the hardest transitions because I have built them to be such competitors.
That's right.
That the only thing that they could see was the K and the Greene. Mm-hmm. They could hear me communicating, hey man, I had some things that, not worked out the way I wanted it to, so I need to transition to be able to have an opportunity to stand on a similar platform to wait for my opportunity. And it's just like, man, coach, listen. If you going over there, we not good. And it was that, for a little while. But then, eventually they kind of lightened the load because they seen and understood the vision and they seen that I didn't stop caring, loving, and talking to them.
You had to be the adult.
Yeah. Nah, you can never expect them to do that, man, because
15, 16.
Nah, especially when they love you.
Yeah,
and they look for you. If they're not looking for you, then it's different. But if they look for you,
I've had assistant coach leave and nobody blink. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody. But when he left, it was like it's like some air came out of the balloon a little bit. You know what I mean? And it was so funny. Deuce, who is probably the most, in the world, had his signing day, and he comes over with that he's come right from work, which was a testament to him. Mm-hmm. He's coming over to his signing day. He's leaving, work to come, spend time and celebrate Deuce. But he came over with that K on his chest. And Deuce was like, nah, you can't take the picture with me with that on. Mm-hmm. So there's a picture. He's got Winston-Salem State dad hoodie on, got my hoodie on, and I'm over here in a regular shirt because dude's like, nah, you can't take. You know what I'm saying? But so they understood it, and they never, like again, the love never changed. You know what I'm saying? But it's some coach, I don't know, may have thrown it in the first game in part of the pregame speech. I don't know. It could have been possible.
When you look across that sideline, what? Look, there ain't nobody gonna talk to him speaking now. Ain't nobody gonna talk.
Nah,
by the way, I'm totally off subject. Great speech. I mean, I was watching last night at 12:30 with DJ Williams. That was a great video.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk about that later. That was a great video. If you ain't seen it, watch it on YouTube. DJ Williams, state champion, just signed with Mount Olive.
Yeah.
Great speech from Coach Wilson. But the best part was DJ got up there and stood on business.
Yeah.
And we didn't expect that.
No.
Now I'm sorry. Let's go back.
I'm
sorry.
Yeah.
Now, you did a great job at Kinston. Mm-hmm. I tip my hat to you.
Mm-hmm.
You grew.
Mm-hmm.
You grew. You took your step. You did what you needed to do. You go from a one county, one middle school, to Kinston, where you're in the city, and you got 4 or 5 middle schools. This person might go here for this reason. This might go that reason.
Yeah.
How was that transition? What was the difference between the county and K-Town?
Man, I mean, the transition. I don't think it was tremendously tough, because you had what you consider to be a similar athlete. You had a similar what you consider to be student. It was just connecting with them and understanding. Kinston is a place where if you're a middle schooler and you top-notch athlete, you trying to crawl or scratch and fight your way there just because of the superiorness of, the athletics. I think that the biggest transition was leaving from a leadership style of Dr. Greene. Dr. Greene was a principal of the year of the state for a reason. He was able to operate a school building at a level to where you being a football coach was an asset to him, but his school building ran and operated a specific way. And I think coming into North County and, being a part of a different leadership, I think that, it took some adjustments, because, certain things that he may have harped on and made sure that as a football coach or as an educator, we may have never experienced or maybe, never cross fire with or whatever, it just, you got to work through a little bit more yellow tape. And I think that, that was the biggest part of my transition, leaving his style of leadership and coming into a new one,
And on both situations, you were under 2 coaches who I respect tremendously.
Yes, sir.
You go from Sugar to Diesel. What was the difference? There is a difference. There's a big difference.
I mean,
respect to both guys, but there's a big difference between how they do what they do and how they coach.
I agree, and a lot of people probably know, man, but it's a difference. But Diesel is very, very similar to just about any African American football coach I've ever been with. I'm just being
honest. You're not lying.
He's straightforward. Like these could be from Kinston. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like a culture aspect where you kind of shocked. You know, it's just the relatability was still there. You know, but I think that me and him were just tied a little bit more deeply connected. You know, because being able to be a part of uplifting his son and developing his son and being able to have duties and him having trust in me with those duties to be able to do those things for the program to be successful. I think that that was just the difference. He had what you consider to be a different level of trust, a different level of belief, and a different level of connection with me. I think more with Kinston and Diesel. He's a businessman. They're here to expectation, and that expectation is tied to the K. And what we need to do to be successful is what we're going to do to be successful. He will be your brother in an aspect, but at the end of the day, it's business, and we have expectation, and he has expectation from this community to be successful. So he's going to hold you accountable to that standard.
Let's talk about Terrence Copper. I want to talk about Terrence Copper, not because he played in the NFL, because I've gotten to know the guy, the coach. Great guy.
Oh, amazing.
Great coach.
Amazing.
How much has he helped you become a better coach?
Man, he's helped me become a better man. I think one of the first things he did to me and for me was brought me closer to my faith. Being able to bring me into his church family, being able to bring me into his, what you consider to be mentorship, and being able to connect with me in ways to be able to understand how being a better man of faith would make you a better football coach was one of the top tier things that he did for me, initially coming in. Now, as we progressively went, he just watching Terrence, you learn. And then him spending time just talking to you, you almost want to have a pad, and you almost want to be writing because there's so much knowledge football-wise and life-wise is coming off of him. And then being able to be a part of the 707 program, being able to learn in depthly the concepts that he's believing in, and then being able to spin ideas off of him, and him being able to freshen up and kind of just be able to communicate what would be more successful inside of my way of thinking. I think he just developed me more when it came to understanding the pass game, when it came to understanding how to be a better man, how to be a man of faith, and just being able to develop and being able to understand, hey, man, your journey are steps. Continue to take these steps, but you grow inside of each one of them, man. And I really think, he was amazing for me, man. He was amazing.
Great
for
dude.
me.
Great dude.
Sure. Amazing guy.
Coach, I know our schedules are really set. I've been looking at Greene Central's schedule for 25 years now. Yeah. You have your guys that's always going to play. Is there a slot in there for East Columbus? Is there?
Well, again, like I told you, like he might have a phone tap. He must have a phone tap. But we toyed around with the idea of even this year we're having them come over for the scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
One of my, and I'm gonna throw it on camera, might put a little pressure on him. But like, I'm 26 years in. The end of this journey is a lot closer than the beginning of this journey. Right. And there are certain things that you want to see and you want to have happen. And I think I may have told him this 2-3 years ago. I want to coach against him, whether it be a 20-play scrimmage or whether it be a full 4-quarter game. That's just something because of the competitiveness, I need always need an open pass to stand on his sideline. I don't care where he coaches.
That's right.
Like, hey, put my name on the list. Like how Jerry Glanville had Elvis or whoever it was on the list every time. You just put it down there, But I would love it. I would love it. I would love it. A 20. I don't care if it's 20 plays, 25. I don't care what it is, because just like how building men through football and through coaching them, it brings me a certain level of joy watching guys that I have guys that I've coached who are now head football coaches. Right. Kennedy Tinsley down at Mallard Creek and Jeremiah Holland over at North. He's not the head coach, but he might as well be. He's a head track coach and, all those things. Now I'm at the point now where guys that I've coached with are now becoming head coaches. Cleveland was the head coach at Eastern Wayne, and now, I really believe Thorpe is my first head football coach. And so that's a first for me.
Yeah.
And, I always think about, like,
one of your kids.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? But, like, it's like my coaching tree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if I never win a state championship, but he does, like, a part of that state championship, I'm a take a part of that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
100%.
I'm gonna need a T-shirt. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so those are the things that I'm leaning at now. You know what I'm saying? I always want to cut the nets down. I always want to be playing this summer. I would love to bring a state championship back to Greene County. That's always been one of my major goals. But at the same time, I know that, like, me personally, Coach Jay, Coach Wilson, like, these things that I'm having happen now and happen the next 3-4 years or whatever it is, those are the things that I'm going to take with me. And if, Thorpe pulls that East Columbus bus in, next August on the scrimmage on the 8th or whatever it is, and we get out there and we bump heads, and, the picture that my wife is going to take of us at midfield, him and his Gator, and, me and my Ram on, like, that picture will go up in my room.
For sure.
And when I get 70, 75, I may not remember the score of the game, but I can look at that picture and be like, man, quick, got it done.
Yeah.
And those are the things. So,
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, that's dope.
What's East Columbus getting? What's the community of East Columbus getting from?
Can I answer?
Yeah.
Can I answer?
Yeah, because I caught a few chills. Yeah. So, I was ready for that.
Stop trying to flex your show.
Oh,
He
man,
did.
He's how you do that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man. I want to let you know I'm in fight trim just in case.
No doubt. East Columbus, you're getting one of the few coaches I've ever coached with that could match my energy every single day of the week. Some coaches are Friday night coaches. Some coaches are Tuesday and Friday. Some coaches are, if it ends in Y, he got the energy for it every single day. You're getting a guy who's going to try to build your community through football. You're going to look up one day and there's going to be 60 guys out there playing football. And you're going to have a JV and you're going to have a varsity, and they're going to be successful. And you're getting a guy who is gonna change not only the culture of football, but I do believe the culture of the school. And not to say it's bad, I don't, but whatever it is, he's going to enhance it, and he's going to make it better. I watched him do it. I mean, some of the things that he gave us, we still do. We still wear black and blue shorts to practice, and that's the only shorts you can wear. We still walk 2x2. It's still certain things. We still get money in the weight room. There are still things that he gave us in those 2 years. And so, East Columbus, you're getting the gym. You're, not even to sound arrogant or cocky or anything like that. You're getting the 32. How old are you, man?
32.
32. I knew I was right. 32. You're getting the 32-year-old version of this right here. You're literally getting that 32-year-old version. When Ric Flair was here and then you brought in Sting, that's, you know what I'm saying? That's what you're getting. Like, and I'm excited. I'm excited. As I'm talking about when our game is over and we hit that W and I interview with you. Hey, babe, did Thorpe then win? Like, 'cause you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's what it's good. That's gonna be the first score I'm looking for. And I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to watch it. I really can't. It's because it's going to be amazing. It really is. And whether it's the first stop, the only stop, whatever it is, it's going to be amazing. And I can say that with my chest because I watched it.
Got Prime in East Columbus. Prime going down
Oh,
East
man,
Columbus.
listen.
He knew where the Prime shirt
It's Herm Edwards and Prime. You know what I mean? Like, they think I'm Prime. Nah, that's Prime.
I wish I had the Prime check.
Yeah.
Prime check a little bit different.
No, we all.
Yeah,
But, no, man, he's gonna do some great things.
I'm gonna get a little messy, but we don't have a lot of time left. I know we got to leave from some places.
No doubt.
Yeah, I'm taking a left here. Transfer portal. Yes. What's going on in high school sports, especially right now? You got Hugh, however you say it, Huff, signing
Signing.
Yeah.
12, 15, 20 kids.
Yeah, you want me to jump out there?
How do you coach through?
I take it because I got it.
I know you got a lot, so I go ahead. Let me.
How do you coach through that? How do you coach?
How do you coach?
We can talk about it. You can say whatever you want to say, but I've seen you lose some kids that you've poured into.
I got probably 2 D1s
Yeah.
that I lost.
Yeah.
Probably just lost another one. You know what I'm saying?
And does that take the air out the balloon?
No, not for me. Not for me. Because I look at it like there's a scene from Friday. I love movies, and Pops was looking at Ice Cube. Ice Cube had the gun, and Pops said, "You think you a man because you got that gun in your hand?" And to me, that's them coaches that got to go out and recruit somebody kid. You got to go get you a gun to win the fight. You afraid to just put your hands up and fight with what God gave you. Mm-hmm. You come in my building, I'm gonna build you up the best way I can. Yeah. I told a kid, we had our meeting yesterday, and I said I wouldn't dare go out and recruit another wide receiver or DB or whatever it is, because I just told you I don't have confidence in you. And the world does enough of that to our kids without me doing it. Yeah. Without me telling the freshmen who lifted the weights and pulled the tires and ran in the sand pit, all of 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade. And he gets to his senior year and it's supposed to be his term. And he's paid the dues. And because some dude sitting behind the computer gave a kid 5 stars or 4 stars, oh, hey, come here, you come play for me. Yeah. And I slide you right in front of the kid who been with me for 3 years because you got some stars behind your name. So to me, coaches, that if they have to do that, they just afraid to fight with their hands. They just afraid to put their hands up and fight. They got to go get a gun. They got to go get something extra because that's the only way they think they can win. And if that's what you want to do, hey, Coach Wilson ain't gonna knock you. You feel what I'm saying? But I don't. That ain't me. That ain't me. I went to the middle school today. I talked to 23 boys. I told them I'll see you in June, and let's go get to work. And whatever comes of that, comes of that. Yeah. If I go 5 and 6 with my guys, I'm happy.
But have you had to readjust? Because it has, in 5-year span, it has went from, ain't nobody transferring. If you're transferring, it's because your mom moved. To now, it's happening. It's the new way.
It's the norm.
Yeah, man.
So have you had to adjust? You can answer this too. Have you had to adjust the way you coach, or are you still the same guy? Either you want to play for me or you don't.
And I mean, I'll be honest, man, I've been on both sides of the world. I've been on the side of the world where, I'm at Greene County, we in Snow Hill, and it's not open enrollment. So who we got is who we playing with, and we build them to be successful, And I've been on the other side of the world, where North County, we got open enrollment situation, and then kids find their way based off of them wanting to be successful. And I think, one of the biggest things about both worlds is you can respect the kid wanting to be successful. And if that's what he needs to do to be successful, by all means, do what you need to do to be successful. But I think the gray area comes in when you have what you consider to be adults that are selling and promising things that at that finish line may not happen for them.
Because let's be real. Let's be real. Isaiah Campbell gets to Tennessee. It doesn't matter if he's playing for East Columbus, South Lenore, Kinston. And it's no shot on Isaiah. Isaiah's a great kid. We love him.
I love him to death. I love his family. Yeah.
But he had to be pulled by somebody. He had to be sold a dream.
For sure. He had 30 offers when he walked out the door.
Yeah. Right.
He had 30 offers in Snow Hill, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. He had 30 offers when he walked out the door. I'm sure he probably, finished up with a few more, but nothing that he wouldn't have gotten if he'd have played his last 2 years. But again, I think it's the adult part, and not even a mom and a dad, but the person who wants to ride the coattails of something. The handlers and the guy who's trying to make his business pop by this kid, and he doesn't think that the exposure in Greene County is going to do it. Mm-hmm. So let's take him somewhere else. the metropolitan area, I don't know. But there is no fix for it now. Yeah. Pandora's box is open.
Yep.
And
ain't no going back.
And we live in a world of highlights, graphics, and likes, and repost.
Social media area.
Social media.
Oh, yeah.
So what you don't get no likes and loves for I'm staying at Greene Central. Yeah. Nah, you get back. It. Yeah, you get it. I'm taking my talents to, I'm excited to announce that I have, and now you get, hey, go be great, brother, or man, much love and all that kind of stuff like that. And now they get a sense of, I'm the man because somebody liked my Instagram post. Mm-hmm. And so you throw the adult, you throw the attention all into the thing together, and you got kid transferring for no reason. Yeah. But he gets 2 weeks of he's the man. Mm-hmm. Man, we're gonna miss you over here, man. I don't know what we're gonna do. Oh, it strokes his ego. So,
and then that same guy that receives him puts him down and says that was his kid. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it ain't being funny and being disrespectful, but if you didn't develop them, did you send them, or did you reap the benefit from somebody else's development and just make it physically appeasing for yourself? Yeah. And I think that's the gray area with it.
And it goes back to the ego of a coach sometimes too. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like on my tombstone, I want 200 wins, and however I got to get to 200 wins, beg, borrow, and steal, I got to get to it because my ego and my self-worth and my confidence is driven by these wins and losses. Mm-hmm. By what happens on Friday night feeds and it does something for me. You know what I mean? So if I got to go out and go get Peter and Paul and Mary and Saul, I'm going to go get them because I need to win on Friday night. Mm-hmm. Because when I win on Friday night, I feel great about myself on Saturday morning. Mm-hmm. And now I'm better. One of the biggest things my coaching mentor, Carl Gist, Coach, if you're watching this, I love you. He said, don't tie yourself, your confidence of who you are into those wins and losses. Tie it into the men you build.
That's one. That's a word.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, that's a word.
Yeah.
That's a word.
He said wins and losses come a dime a dozen. I think about this year. I lost the game by a half an inch on the field goal. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, we're a half an inch from beating a state championship team. I didn't have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, we practiced snapping and holding and kicking. I did my part. So does that affect my confidence in me? Not anymore.
From a kicker that's done it before.
That's done it before. Yeah. The year before, we win 3 games off his foot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
All right, I definitely got to wrap up. We could go for another hour.
We can.
We could easily.
I shouldn't bring this part up because I hate it. Mm-mm. But you did get that win. That win against Greene Central, it was the most craziest game I've been a part of. The last 2 minutes for both of y'all.
Sure.
Well, were y'all ever thinking about, I can't wait to go see Thorpe. I can't wait to see Wilson. Hey, look, there was 2 minutes where everybody won.
Oh, yeah, everybody won.
Yeah,
everybody won.
And I had won at first.
Yeah.
But and I think for the 2 minutes for me, man, was inside of the 2 minutes when we kicked it off, and just so happened that my baby boy,
my God,
man, dude might as well be my son. How much I love Trey Bynum. Mm-hmm. He's standing on the sideline in front of me as he's getting ready to return this kick. In front of him is Deuce.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they are looking at me. So we kick it, farm ball kick it. We get it down there. Trey somehow grabs it. And as he's going down the sideline, he's looking at the sideline to let me know, anybody in my association, this me. And Deuce dumps a kid right in front of me. So in your mind, as a competitor, I'm a sheep. Where my sheep? I got to figure. We got to have something coming back. We got to have something coming back. But it was, man, it was a roller coaster, but it was a roller coaster that, you knew at the end it was purity in the handshake.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It was a true love to what it was going to be at the end. So it was up and down roller coaster. I was just glad that it was favorable. I'm just glad it was favorable, man. You know, you can't make up that. You can't make up what Tyreek Copper was able to do in multiple games. But in that game, in that moment, in that play, I don't think that there's anybody else that could have made that play.
No.
I don't think.
And a couple of moments I look up, and you know we're headed to half, and I'm digging in my guys at the half like you better not relax, and we come out, and you know we get back into this thing or whatever, and I look up and they're in a 2-back, and I said, listen, hold on, bro. I've been scouting Kinston since the early 2000s.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen 2 in the backfield. You know what I mean? So I'm looking across, and now I start seeing he has a certain way he waggles his sheet. And when he in that groove, and I'm like, son of a, you know, and I know if he ain't on the stick, he is talking to the man that's on the joystick. You know what I mean? And I said, here they are in 2-back. This son of a gun here got him in 2-back, and then
Coach the Tree hell, boy.
Yeah, because I know when he needs some money, he gonna get in that 2-back, and he gonna get that thing downhill, you know, and so. Then we get to the end, you know what I'm saying? And I watch Trey make a play, and I watch dudes, like you say, dump a kid, and I see, all right, come on, you know, and then I know what's about to happen, you know what I'm saying? And then Reek scores, and then I'm like, all right, hey, Whitehurst, let's go, baby, let's go. And then we get it back down, and we're doing our thing, and I'm just on the ground like, however this thing go, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Whenever the clock run out. Whenever the clock run out.
Yeah, like, I mean, we could have played another quarter for all that matter. You know what I mean? So, but for that to be one of our last memories, of course, you know, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, it was legendary. That was war.
It doesn't get any better than that. And then, you know, I was able to kind of be there through their playoff run, you know, specifically for him. You know what I'm saying? Specifically for him. B5, my dog, too. He and Deuce play AAU together. You know, been knowing him for a minute. I told you to pick up the football in the first play. But to be there for that and to walk through that, and now to be here, you know, to be 2 head coaches sitting in a chair, you know what I'm saying, talking to Trey Scott, who was giving us the business about his son playing quarterback.
Yeah, for sure.
And are you the right guy for Greene Central? You know, to see that thing, you know, years later, now be here, I mean, it gives you a sense of like, if you do it the right way, the right things will happen for you. You know, and it'll continue to keep happening. Yeah. And I think that's the part that I take with me the most, is that when it's all said and done, when I come in here and sit in this chair, hopefully you'll get me a table, you know, because you know. But anyway,
you know that's only for Hawk time.
Roll the boat, or you know. But anyway, but when I sit in here and I take my whistle off and we have our conversation, you know, one of the things that I'll be able to say is that I did it the right way all the time. Mm-hmm. And if there's anything, if he doesn't remember anything else that I'm telling him, is that just do it the right way. Yeah. Just do it the right way, and the results and the success and the wins and the championships and all the things, it'll be so much sweeter. Yeah. It'll be something that you can really, really like take with you forever. Yeah. And this is me talking to you. We could the red light could be off, but like in a world where guys are now taking the shortcut. Don't be different. Yeah. Don't take the shortcut. You know what I'm saying? Like, do it the way that we always talked about. Do it our way. You know, run the damn ball. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and you know, quick. You got your own juke joint now.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna swing by, you know, make sure I got a VIP table.
Of course.
Make sure you got a drink.
We're all grown.
Yeah, you know, and just make it look like you. Yeah. Make the program look like you, and you'll never lose a moment of sleep. Yeah. You dig what I'm saying?
Man, I appreciate that. That's real. That's real.
Hey man, we're wrapping up.
Yeah.
I'll give you a chance to speak.
Oh man, to speak, man. Just speaking to both of y'all, man. Man, thank you both for giving me some sort of platform that I needed at one of the, what you consider to be the hardest times of my life, man. You know, I had a couple things I was trying to kind of work through in Fayetteville, and I just didn't have the amenities, the support, the belief from the people that I needed, man, and just to come and you to trust me with your son and be able to mentor him, you to be able to trust me with your young program and be able to mentor and grow them, and then be able to mentor and grow me from both aspects, you know, being able to teach me what the camera meant and the nuances that, you know, that looked like, and being able to tell me what it looked like and needed to physically operate as to be a head football coach and to be a community activist, because that's what you should be as a head football coach. You know, man, I'm just grateful for them. You know, man, I'm grateful for both of those moments and that guidance that I received, man, because it's what put me in a position to be prepared now. You know, because if you can't get prepared any other way, you get prepared with the people that love you the most, because then every entity of what you do afterwards is based off the teachings that you receive from them. Mm-hmm. So, man, you know, I'm grateful. You know, I thank both of you guys, you know what I'm saying, like, without being able to put it in words how much it meant, you know, because you guys didn't know. You just say, man, there's a ball coach, there's a guy just coming here. And it didn't have to be known, because the purity and love that you gave me and the opportunities that you gave me and the conversations that we shared and we had, man, that put me in position to mentally be able to trust in myself, to be able to take this opportunity, and also to be able to understand, like, man, you doing this for some people that poured into you that didn't know you, just believed in you, man. That's something you gotta be grateful for, because it's hard to find great people, and when you find great people, man, you need to appreciate them. You know,
that's
and
right.
I appreciate y'all.
That's a word for real.
Yes, sir.
Same here for me, guys. I'm wrapping up. Appreciate y'all coming. I got into Neuse Sports to, honestly, my selfish goal was to give to Greene County. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I try to be unbiased. I think I do a good job.
Yeah,
considering how biased I am. Yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that. It's coming. Time's coming. Time's coming. I left it out. Hey.
My fault. I didn't. It might have fit.
Look, there's gonna be a time and place for that. What? There's gonna be a time and place. What? But I got into it to give Greene County the spotlight that they never have, and I still do it unselfishly for everybody. But y'all have been huge for the place I love and for the people I love. Hats off to you guys. Y'all are great men, great coaches. Keep going. This is Timeout with Trey Scott, episode 34. Probably my best episode yet. Hey.
Don't put that pressure on nobody. Don't put that
They
pressure.
they can't match this.
Hey, whoever got 35, you in trouble, boy.
Yeah.
I need to be scripting it right now.
Yeah, I got a baseball player. He don't have a chance. It's all right. It's all right. Everybody can't be Sugar.
No. Everybody so can't be quick. I'll tell you that.
All right, we got to end this. Hey, we'll see you next episode. I'm Trey Scott, Jay Wilson, Coach Thorpe. See you soon.